All right, good morning. Better late than never. Like every Monday, things don't always go smoothly. Had to reinstall a couple of stuff here on the old $100 studio radio. Things don't always go the way they're planned. But here we are, Monday morning again. I'm Mike Allen, and this is Monday Morning Brew. You're listening to the Armed Radio Global Network. Oh, my goodness. You know, the more things get technological, the more things, advance technologically, more things can go wrong. Well, welcome. What a week. Friday night's Belt of Honorius went off at the Nutty Brown. For those of you who have me as a Facebook friend, you got to see me in a tux with my handlebar mustache, growing out the beard. Got a little beard wax and got my handlebars going. That was pretty cool. That went over pretty good. I didn't know how that was going to go over. I didn't know if people were going to like that or not, but apparently people did. So that looks like something that's probably going to stick around, is the old handlebars. So we're going to go over the results of that, probably coming out of our second break. We're going to go a full hour today for all you folks that hung around. So don't worry about that. I had to reinstall a Winamp. I couldn't get my Winamp to work correctly this morning, and it kept... it wouldn't play the songs, so I had to go through and reinstall all that and get a clean install. Been having some trouble since I installed the new update from World of Tanks. Not blaming World of Tanks. I think it's just this old computer, man. This thing's chugging along. I'm just gonna have to buckle down and see if I can't get the finances together to update the studio computer. This thing is 5 years old now. 5, almost 6-year-old laptop. It's been chugging along. We've cleaned it. We've gone through and got the hard drive cleaned off and everything. But it's 5 years old, which is pretty amazing, to tell you the truth, when it comes to laptops or any computers. I mean, you got a 5-year-old computer and it's still doing stuff. That's a keeper. This one's chugging along. That's just... I'd like to get a tower. I don't know if any of you out there build computers or know somebody who builds computers who can work with me, or maybe if you want to sponsor the show, and if you have a computer company and you'd like to be a main sponsor and donate a tower to the studios. I'm not looking for anything, huge. I think I can get a pretty decent tower off of Newegg that will do everything I need it to do for around $600 So for that, it'd be a whole year sponsorship, and basically for an entire year, I would be your bitch. This show, my other on the air on Wednesday night's show, every commercial break would be sponsored by you. So let me know if somebody owns a computer shop out there and has an old computer laying around they could polish up and put some new hardware in there and get a clean install of Windows 7. And if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show here, we'll do it, man. We'll throw down. This thing here is just chugging along. But I got a good cup of coffee in me, so I'm not too fired up angry. I know Joe Rocks, our boss, gave me a call about 5-6 after. He's like, "Hey, you going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, trying." I guess I could have sang. I got that good radio voice now. It's a morning radio voice. I could have sang a little bit, maybe. Sang my bumper music. Did all live shots on the commercials. Wow, a lot of stuff happening this week. NFL draft is coming up this next weekend. Of course, this was Easter weekend. This last Easter weekend. I hope everybody had time with their families and ate a lot of food. I think holidays are meant to eat a lot. I'm kind of getting that impression from... It seems that every time a holiday comes up, all you're doing is eating food. But I spent some time with just me and the dog yesterday. Had a nice day where I just relaxed, and it was nice. It was nice just to hang out, and I had some chicken wings and drank a little beer and just hung out and watched SportsCenter. But anyway, the draft is coming up, the NFL draft next weekend. We're going to go over some of those draft picks. I know everybody's wondering where Johnny Manziel's going. I hope he goes to Houston. I think that would be a good fit. Houston needs a quarterback. And along with that, I really do hope that Houston beefs up their front line. He can scramble, but, we kind of need to give him some confidence. So we don't want him scrambling unless he sees an advantage. You don't want to have him scrambling because he has no other choice. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Manziel go to Houston, but I have a feeling he'll probably end up in Cleveland, which isn't bad either. Cleveland's got a better offensive line. Didn't do very well last year at all because their defense is horrible. I thought Cleveland was going to do a lot better. Of course, that's where Colt McCoy, the old Texas quarterback, went for a while, but I think he's still playing in a backup role somewhere. So he's not starting in Cleveland anymore. But so I'm hoping Manziel goes there. That'd be kind of cool. Of course, Jadeveon Clowney is going to probably be the either number 1 or number 2 overall pick, and he'll end up going. He'll end up going to either Houston or Cleveland also, and I tell you, it's just a good draft class this year. There's a lot of good players. So we're going to go over some of those stats too. I tell you what, let me negotiate to that webpage. I had it open earlier and I had to close it down. I get all my good information from ESPN because, as they said, they are the worldwide leader in sports. So let me navigate over there. How's everybody's week? What's everybody planned for the week here? See class rankings, Recruit Nation scores. Let's go to Recruiting Nation. I think that's where I was. The recruiting class rankings, Alabama had the number 1 recruiting class with 14 commitments. A&M came in second with 9 commitments. Then the Penn State Nittany Lions, who went through that huge scandal a couple of years back, and have had a coach, they've been ineligible to do anything. They have the number 3 ranked class, meaning the evaluation of talent that are slotted to go to those colleges. So the top 3: Alabama, Texas A&M, and Penn State. That's pretty dang good. Florida State, the national champions last year, they came in 5th. Tennessee 6th. My home state of Texas has 10 commitments, and they ranked 8th. Then Baylor, who's been coming on strong, they're 15th. But the top 10 are Alabama, Texas A&M, Penn State, LSU, of course, always recruits well, Florida State, Tennessee, Clemson, Texas, Notre Dame, and Georgia. So those are the ones to watch for next year. So that's looking pretty good. Those are recruiting classes. That's commitments that go. Those are the number of commitments and the commitments that commit to a college. They evaluate those players. Of course, you never know what's going to happen when you get to college. It's like anything else. You get into evaluating somebody's known. What the hell do they call it? They're known numbers, but you don't know how they're going to play. But you don't know where they are mentally with maturity and smarts. Because, high school and college is a huge leap. When you're playing high school football, You're playing with 16 to 19-year-olds. You go into college, you're playing from 19 to 24-year-olds. So that's a huge leap. So when you go from high school to college, sometimes that transition, is what gets you. So you never know what's going to happen from high school to college, and then you don't know what's going to happen from college to the pros, because that's even a bigger leap. So I can't find the page I was on with the draft class, the mock draft. Oh, man. Recruits on the trail. No, I can't find it. But anyway, Clowney, Johnny Manziel, those are the ones that are going to go pretty high, I think. ESPN 300, is that it? I go to ESPN.com. It's a nice setup, but I get it's hard to navigate unless you know where you're going. I'm sorry I'm a little off this morning, guys. You get on, you get ready to go, and things don't go off the way they're supposed to, and it kind of throws a monkey wrench in it. But everybody goes through that. That's what Monday's about, isn't it? You think? That's what Monday's about. Monday's about, stumbling out of the gate sometimes. Staggering around a little bit. Shaking off the cobwebs of the weekend. That's why Monday has such a bad rap, in my opinion. Excuse me. Sneezed. So when you have Mondays, they don't go off quite right. You get on. You got to get back on the horse. So this whole first segment here is kind of a wash. We're just going to go ahead and call this one. I will just call this a wash. What do you say? We'll pick it up after the break, and we'll get back on track. That's what Monday morning's about, isn't it? God, after a nice weekend, where, especially an Easter weekend, you had some hockey playoffs going on, had some NBA playoffs going on, had some sports going on. It was just a nice, relaxing weekend. You come into something, you got to go to work, you got to get up, you got to dress. That's why I play that Rise and Shine. That's my motivational kind of kick you in the butt thing to get you up and get you going. That's why I think Monday has a bad rap. Because we're not mentally prepared to get into the day. We're not physically prepared. We're not awake. We just want the weekend to go one more day. We want to stretch that out so that we don't have to go to work. We don't have to get up, get dressed, get showered, and get on the way. And that's why I think Mondays, sometimes you got a Monday like this. I mean, what do you do? What do you do to recover from that Monday? I'm on Twitter right now if you want to tweet in, at Mike Allen Sports, hashtag it Armed Radio, and shoot me a tweet. Tell me, what do you do when you get out of bed to get yourself on the right track after stumbling out of the gate on a Monday? What's some of the things you do to recover? To get your footing back underneath you? I just usually slow everything down, take a deep breath, just take one thing at a time until I get to where I'm going. That's what I had to do this morning. The software, I use Winamp, which is a great software base, but sometimes, over time, especially with computers, who knows what happens? Really, the computer gremlins are what happened. I don't know. I can't explain it. I went to play the music and I couldn't hear it. And then it would skip. And I was getting all sorts of crazy stuff. So I had to go through that whole process of uninstalling it and reinstalling. Of course, I'm watching the clock, and then the phone's ringing. So, all that pressure comes on. What I find what I do is I can only control what I can control. So there's only a few things. I can't waste energy getting all fired up, upset over something that's not working when I can devote 100% of my energy into fixing the problem. And that's what I did, It bothers me when things go wrong, just like it bothers everybody. But one of the things I've learned to do over time through my life is just take a deep breath, relax, let everything slow down, and just do one thing at a time until it gets to the point where it works. And that's what I did this morning. But what do you do? What do you guys do when you get out and your battery's dead and you got a flat tire? Or you wake up and you have an important meeting to get to at 9 o'clock and your kids are running a fever and all of a sudden, you got to stay home. What do you do? How you get through it? I guess is what the question of the morning is. What's one of the things that you do to, to get through it? So tweet me what you do. At Mike Allen Sports. Hashtag it on the air. Or hashtag Armed Radio. And let me know what you do. We got this great I see a bunch of people are listening. Thanks for sticking around this morning, by the way, folks. Again, sorry for the delay. But give me your thoughts. How do you get up? How do you get back on track? Me personally, I'm going to go get me another cup of coffee. Personally. That's what gets me going. I've been drinking coffee since I got in the military, actually. I didn't really drink coffee when I got out of high school. It took me a while to get into coffee, but I started drinking coffee a lot in the military. That was like the thing to do in the morning, is to have a nice cup of coffee. And then, of course, when I got out of the military and I was married, and we used to make coffee every morning before we went to work, and got the coffee going now. And get another cup of coffee and relax. Take a deep breath. I've always found, my dad handles problems like that too, and it's kind of something I've taken from him. He never got really bent out of shape when things went wrong. He'd just kind of take a deep breath and he'd knuckle down. He'd knuckle down and he'd get to whatever the result was. And that's how you handle that. That's what you do. You don't get all fired up. You don't get all upset. You don't lose your cool. I know some people they want to blame other people. They want to blame people for what's going on, just to kind of have something, I guess, to focus on that, who knows? But you can't do that. You got to spend your energy on fixing the problem. Spend your energy and your time and your focus on getting to the end result, which would, in my case, is getting the show on there. And, of course, I'm stumbling around right now. This first segment was horrible to me, but you can't get all upset about that. You got to look at the good things. One, I got a hot cup of coffee in front of me. Two, I'm butt naked, which is great. It's very liberating. I don't know, that might be TMI. Things happen. Things go on, right? I'll tell you what, talking about another cup of coffee, let me go grab a break. I've got the results of Belts of Honorius, and we're going to go over those when I get back out of the break and listen to our commercials. I got a bunch of commercials to run, so we got to catch up. So we're going to run those. So get yourself a cup of coffee. Go finish up frying up that egg. Relax a little bit. When you come back, we'll have the results from Friday's Belts of Honorius. Great amateur MMA fights. A couple of split decisions. couple of unanimous decisions. It was a lot of fun. We'll be right back after these messages. I'm Mike Allen. You're listening to On the Air Monday Morning Brew. We're all part of the Armed Radio Global Network.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand-new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hey, listen up. Are you tired of being tired? Looking for that extra boost? Do yourself a favor and visit buylimitlessenergy.com to learn about limitless energy. That's buylimitlessenergy.com for limitless energy. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. buylimitlessenergy.com. That's buylimitlessenergy.com. So stop wasting your life. Get limitless energy now.
Want to lose weight, gain energy and performance, age more youthfully, or enhance your skin at the cellular level? Then Isogenics is for you. Simply take a portion of your grocery budget and put it towards your health. I understand life gets busy, but there is no better time to pursue your health goals than with Isogenics today. Barry Oxford would like to set up an appointment with you to answer any questions and help you better understand why Isogenics and why now. Please visit his website at www.barryoxford.isogenics.com. That's BARRYOXFORD.ISAGENIX.com to either buy products or sign up. Save 33% if you act right now. This message brought to you by Barry Oxford, your Isogenics independent associate.
Get the most out of your productions by getting your music mixed and mastered by Subtrash Studios. We only use professional-grade equipment to ensure your songs sound the best it can. Come see how we can help at subtrashstudios.com. That's subtrashstudios.com.
Come join me, Matt Hazley, your host for Straight Talk, where we will take a journey into the deepest regions of your mind. Yeah, right. Nah, just kidding. Join me every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where every topic is fair game. Only on Arm Radio, home of the big guns.
All right, we are back. Mike Allen, this is Monday Morning Brew. Hold on a minute. Get a little drink coffee here. Hold on. It's brown gold, man. It's brown gold. We got some exciting stuff coming up this week. We've got a whole slew of new shows that are coming on. we've got this afternoon, about noontime, stick around. Tattoo Rick will be back with his wife Tara and Tattoo Rick for Afternoon Bites tonight. That's at noon Eastern. Tonight, starting at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, was Matt Hazley, Straight Talk. And he's got the Mondays and Fridays. He's the bookends, really, of the evening shows. And then Tuesday at noon, we have a brand new show, the John and Jay Show. I think they come on at noon. And Tuesday night, Val Niestema, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Comes on with Talk Time with Val. Then Wednesday night, it's me on the air with Mike Allen, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's 11 Eastern, 8 o'clock out on the east on the left coast. So tune in for that, and hopefully should have everything worked out by then. It's 3 days later, right? Thursday night, Valenistama comes back. She's back at 7 p.m., and her show runs 8 p.m. Eastern to 10, and then Joe Rocks and his sidekick, the Doog, entertain you with Night Talk with Joe Rocks. And then Friday, we end the week with Straight Talk again. So that's our lineup for the week. We're getting more and more content as we go on. More and more shows are coming on. So you have more and more shows to choose from as we expand and grow. That's pretty exciting here at Armed Radio Global. You can visit us at armedradiogrobal.com for all the show times and graphics and archive shows. We're broadcasting off whatever you're listening to now, which could be Live 365, Regina, My Gen 365, which is Freudian slip, and Athena 365. Also Spreaker, broadcasting live on Spreaker, and it's being recorded and will be published, so you can go back and go back later and listen to the show in case you missed the first 15, 20 minutes of today's show. No, don't do that. So there's lots of places to go to listen to your favorite shows or listen again. A lot of times you're on the road. You might miss a show, but you still want to listen. So you can come back and listen. They've got phone lines hooked up. I'm getting mine hooked up. This is kind of a slow process here in the multi-$100 studios of Armed Radio, running out of Central Texas. But as soon as I get the phone lines up, you'll be able to call the show. But right now, we got Facebook and Twitter. So if you'd like to tweet me at Mike Allen Sports and hashtag it Armed Radio. That way, it'll go right to where. It'll go right to my little tweet deck here under Armed Radio, and I can read your tweet live on the air. You can answer any questions you might have. And, that's why you can communicate with the show. Or if you'd like to come on the show, send me a tweet with your phone number, and we'll give you a call, and we'll get you on the phone, on the show. If you're really, 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 or Facebook, you go on to Facebook. Send me a message on Facebook. You can go to Mike Allen on Facebook and send me a message, and we'll get you on the show. But Friday night, boy, did we have a good one. We only had 7 bouts out of 16 that were scheduled. And that's what happens in amateur MMA. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal, but it's not a huge deal. I mean, it's something that Belts of Honorius will do that other promotions will not do. Is once they set a date and they go. And the fighters, we were trying to get mostly women fighters, and just one by one, they kind of dropped out. And a couple of health issues. We had one of the fighters come in overweight, and then we had another one of the fighters who had been training real hard discover that she'll probably not be able to fight for the next 9.5 months. So congratulations to her, as she is expecting. And, of course, if you're expecting, we're not going to stick you in an octagon and have you try to beat the crap out of each other. So with all that happened, things happened. But in the end, we ended up having 7 real solid fights. real solid fights, and let's go over those. Let's go over the results. First up, we had Manuel Corral versus Chase Cozart. And these two guys are smaller weight class, very intense. And they got all the way into the first round. Was everybody comes out, they're flying around, they're going at it, and then started getting that fatigue. Started picking, the arms started getting heavy because they were pretty well matched. This was a very well-matched bout up until the second round. And it almost made it all the way through the second round. At 2 minutes and 18 seconds into the second round, Manuel got the advantage on Chase and made him tap out, got a TKO at 2:18 into the second round. So congratulations, Manuel. Second matchup, again, a couple of guys at of the smaller weight class. I think it's like the 120, 130 weight class. Kevin Morin, the Ewok they call him, versus Federico Oliveira, and that one went the distance. And I'll tell you, that was a close match. I think the scoring was 29-28. It was 29-28, but it was split. Two judges siding for Kevin, the Ewok Morin, and the other judge for Federico Oliveira, and it was a split decision. And, as a ring announcer, those are my favorite. Not only did the bout go 3 rounds and everybody got their money's worth and the athletes gave it their all and everything else, but as an announcer, when I walk over to the judges' table, the scores table, and they print out that printout and they hand it to me and I fold it in half, at that moment, outside of the judges that compiled the scores, the 3 of us, I'm the only one that knows the winner. So when I climb into that cage, I've got that info, man. It's pretty cool. So when I read it off, everybody's hanging it. It gets dead silent, And then when you get to the end and you go through the preliminaries, this judge scored at 28-21 in favor of Federico Oliveira. This judge scores at this in favor of Kevin Morin, and Judge so-and-so scores it for your winner by split decision, and then I'll stop. And everybody's dead quiet. That's the coolest thing. That's what I live for as an announcer. Because really, you've seen my picture on Facebook. I'm not getting in that ring anytime soon. I may get in there and probably have a heart attack. But Kevin Moran got a split decision. Next up was Lewis Carter versus Gabriel Rodriguez. And it was round 1 at 1 minute and 58 seconds. It was a very quick match. Lewis Carter got in there and got after it. He's an active duty drill sergeant from Fort Hood. And his opponent, Gabriel Rodriguez, this is one of his few of his first fights. So when he got out there and got after it, Lewis just he took off. He takes big, tall kid, great reach, very strong, active military drill sergeant, and got him by a TKO in round 1 at a minute and 58 into the match. It was over. Next bout's Alan Abera and Jeremiah Dawson, and those guys went. Jeremiah has a beard like me, and so I was pulling for the guy with the beard, and it was close. It wasn't anything. Again, it could have gone either way, but in the end, Alan Abera just had a little more stamina. He was a little more held the advantage as far as where he was in the ring and where he was in the cage, rather. And even though Dawson fought back and kept on his feet and kept getting out of bad situations, he never held the advantage. He was always underneath. He was always on the defense. And because of that, he lost by unanimous decision. And again, that was close too. It wasn't a blowout. Because he had a lot of points for escape. But when you're on the defense like that, it's tough. It's tough. Tough to score points, but by unanimous decision, Alan Abera took that bout. And then The next bout up was Steve Cordell and Jason Mallett. Jason Mallett is the husband of Ferocious Fatima Mallett. So this is a husband and wife team. They've got 2 kids, and it's a husband and wife team that fight. I mean, I can imagine a dispute over who's doing the dishes. We got a lot of plastic lamps and sturdy furniture in that household, huh? No, I tease. They're a great couple, and this was his debut. He had watched his wife. His wife's actually 3-0 right now in the amateur ranks, and he was going up against Steve Cordell, who's an older gentleman. So all you guys out there like me who use age as an excuse, don't, because he's a good guy, and he was ready. And 2 minutes and 2 seconds into the first round, he got Jason in the front guillotine, and Jason had to tap out. Just that one little rookie mistake. That one little move. If he had moved left instead of right, or if he had ducked, or if he had his arm in proper position, he probably wouldn't have been able to get caught in that guillotine. But that's, when you first start fighting, it's all about learning that kind of stuff. So he'll be back. He's a tough kid. He wasn't beat, but you get that front guillotine in, you sink it in real tight, and that's it. There's not too many people can survive that or get their head out of that. So Steve initiated Jason into the cage, and then Jason, great guy. Afterwards, during the interview, I said, "Will you be back?" He says, "Absolutely, I'll be back." You can knock him down, but you can't knock him out. So we'll see him again. Of course, his wife, the Ferocious Fatima Mallett, and this is Jason Monster Mallett. And, of course, Steve Cordell, he'll be back, too. He's another good fighter. So all amateurs, these guys. They don't get paid for this. They spend money. They spend time in the gyms constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to get to the point where they go into a ring for 9 minutes. Really, if you think about it. 3-minute rounds. All that time, all that effort, time in the gym, hours in the gym, workouts, getting up early, running, eating correctly. Hour upon hour, months of not doing anything but focusing on 9 minutes. That's amazing. Our semi-main event was Sam Jones and Matt Pena. And this one went the distance, and it was a unanimous decision. But again, it wasn't an overwhelming unanimous decision. It was close. It was real close. And Sam Jones, Sam Jones is tough. And Matt, younger fella, stuck in there. I thought it was going to be over, actually. I thought it was going to be over early. But he stuck in there. He stuck in there, wouldn't go down. And he just kept fighting and kept fighting and kept fighting and just would not give up. And in the end of the day, when it got down to it, Sam just wouldn't give up. So, it was toe-to-toe. It was toe-to-toe all the way through. That was a great fight. And you know what? I think I've got that wrong. I think... no, I got it right. Yeah. I might have got Sam Jones mixed up with Lewis Carter. Sam Jones and Matt Pena, they went after it. And the first round, it was... Both of them stood pretty much toe-to-toe. And then, of course, as they got tired throughout the rest of the bout, things slowed down a little bit, but he hung in there. Matt Pena hung in there, and he'll be back. He's a tough kid. Sam got the win by unanimous decision, and then the final main event was our heavyweights, Matt Alonzo and Jeff Frost. Now, I've seen Matt fight before. Matt's just this big kid, and he's just, he's not what you would, when you look at him, it's not what you would think about an MMA fighter that spends hours in the gym, and because he's kind of like me. He's young. He's got a little bit of, I don't want to say it's baby fat, but he's just got a little bit of, he doesn't have much definition. To look at him, you say, man, this guy, what is he doing? He's not going to make it. But this is the second fight that I've seen him in where he's taken him out in the first round. And he's tough. He's just a tough kid, and he can take abuse. He'll stand there and take a hit. And he got in there against Jeff Frost, and in the first round, took care of him at 1 minute and 12 seconds. I mean, it wasn't even really close. Jeff bust his heart. Just I don't think mentally Jeff looked across the ring and said, you know what, this guy's going to be dangerous. I think like most of us, and I got to admit it. I mean, you look at Matt Alonso, it's like, he's just doesn't have that look. He's not your stereotypical MMA fighter until he straps up and gets in that ring and the bell rings. Once the bell rings, it's just a transformation. He's a monster. And he'll take you out. So that's the results from Friday at Belts of Honorius. We're going to go up again in another 2 months in June. So we'll stick around for those dates. If you live in the Texas area, around Texas, you'll be able to go see that. See those fights. It's amateur MMA. It's not like the UFC where, you spend $35-$40 and you're way in the back. You spend $35 a ticket for Belts of Honorius, you're right up front. You're right next to the cage, and it's only $15 to get in. So it's a great night of good amateur MMA. A lot of people come out. We didn't quite sell out this one, but we still had over 2,000 people there, so that's pretty good. Sorry, I had to take a little drink of coffee there. But we will be back for our final segment. Yeah, I know, because I started late, so I'm going long. So in case you're wondering, is he going to leave? I'm not. I got one more segment left. When we get back, we'll talk about some things that came to light out at the ranch out in Nevada and some information that I've gotten hold of. And if you'd like to tweet in about that or tweet in about anything we're talking about this morning, go to Twitter, at Mike Allen Sports, like me, follow me, and send me a tweet. Just say good morning. Just say how you doing. You don't even have to ask a question. Just, hey, Mike, how you doing? Let me know you're out there. I'm Mike Allen. You're listening to On the Air Monday Morning Brew here on the Armed Radio Global Network. We'll be back after these messages.
This is Jason Merrill from the John and Jay Show every Tuesday nights at 11 Eastern on Live 365 Radio, home of the big guns.
Whether building, expanding, or remodeling, the name in site work is Savino Contracting. Experts in demolition, excavation, sewer and septic tank installation, and site prep. Get in touch on Twitter at Savino Contract or call 508-989-0960 or email to evsavino@yahoo.com. Savino Contracting has what it takes to get the job done.
Wow, that tiger lily on your shoulder has amazing colors.
Thanks. I just got this tattoo a week ago.
What? No way. That tattoo looks totally healed. My tattoos never looked that great after a week. What did you use on it?
It's not what I used on it, it's what I used in it.
Now you're just making fun of me. What do you mean in it?
Tattoo Rick told me that it's not only what you put on your tattoos, it's what you put in your body that also affects your tattoos.
Right. Another thing I have to change about my diet.
No, nothing like that. I take the tattoo pill.
Really? There's a pill for tattoos?
Yeah, it's called a tattoo pill. It's packed with 30 vitamins and minerals that your body needs to help operate at ideal level. It helps me before, during, and after my tattoo. Great thing is, it's made here in the United States from all natural ingredients. And for people like me that are vegetarians, the tattoo pill comes in a veggie capsule and is gluten-free.
Okay, you got me. Where do I get this tattoo pill?
TheTattooPill.com.
TheTattooPill.com?
Yes, all one word, TheTattooPill.com.
Do you want to be healthy, happy, and fit? Are you tired of being tired and looking to improve your lifestyle? Well, Fitvation.com is for you. It's a site full of useful tips and articles about fitness, health, and beauty for both men and women. They also do some really useful equipment reviews. So no matter what you need to boost your fitness, Fitvation's got it. Check it out, because you matter.
Hey you, sitting in front of your computer dreaming that you can be paid to play games. Now it's possible. Start making money today playing new video games. How would you like to sit in the comfort of your own home, play and test games, eat pizza, drink soda, and get a nice big fat paycheck at the end of the month? This is a perfect opportunity for gamers, students, or someone that just doesn't have the time to commute to a dead-end part-time job. Or for anyone who wants to sit in their pajamas and work from home. Join now, risk-free. Start your 7-day trial today at www.gamingjobsonline.com. That's www.gamingjobsonline.com. Game now.
The high cost of cable TV has led many people to wonder whether there's a better way to get access to the best HD programming. Driven Communications is a national satellite retailer that makes it easy to switch over to satellite from cable as quickly and inexpensively as possible. For a free limited-time consultation on how we can address all your HD needs, call us today at 1-800-686-5984. That's 1-800-686-5984.
Glastic water bottle, a shatterproof glass water bottle. It's great for any liquid because everything tastes best in glass. A leak-proof lid you can close and toss on the couch without worry. Chances are it won't ever break, but if it does, no worries. The glass is safely contained inside a protective outer shell, so you won't have a dangerous mess to clean up. You can safely remove the broken glass and get replacements. Go to GlasticWaterBottle.com to get your very own Glastic bottle today. That's GlasticWaterBottle.com. GLASSTIC waterbottle.com. What are you waiting for?
Introducing Fast Locksmith, a locally owned mobile locksmith service providing 24 hours assistance in the Washington, D.C. area. We have very affordable prices and our customer service is amazing. Our service includes house, commercial property, office, automotive lockouts, safes, and more. Call today to get a quote at 888-959-8984 or visit us online at fastlocksmithdc.com. That's fastlocksmithdc.com.
All right, welcome back for the last segment. Of course, some of you might be asking, why the hell is he still on the air? God, please, just start playing music again. I know, we'll get there. But I'm on for an hour, and after fighting through some technical difficulties on a typical Monday morning, we got that going straight. So I got to give you an hour. Got to give you an hour of that special love that only I can give. So grab another cup of coffee. Let's keep going. The Bundy Ranch fiasco out in Nevada has been... We're going to talk more about this on Wednesday night. I'm going to try to get a guest on the show to talk about it. But, there's a lot of misconception, a lot of stuff going around Facebook. Of course, all the liberal pages are calling him a deadbeat and a welfare rancher, and, he owes the people money. I mean, just that kind of... If you think about it, when you use phrases like the people, that's very socialist. So I got to investigating because at first it was hard for me to believe or grasp that the Bundy Ranch was on or surrounded by federal land, since per our Constitution, federal government cannot own land unless it's designated as a capital, i.e. Washington, D.C., national state park, which is designated as a state park, or a military base. So when I saw this thing on Facebook, where one of the Facebook posters said 87% of Nevada was owned by the Bureau of Land Management, or owned by the federal government, I did some investigating, and it's true. A couple of things. One, how the hell did this happen? If you think about it, somebody did some conniving. Some politicians made some deals, and they actually it's in violation of the Constitution of the United States under Section 8. It says to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not to exceed 10 miles square as may by session of particular states and by the acceptance of Congress become a seat in the government of the United States, which means that basically that legal speak from our forefathers means that to exercise legislation saying that the land 10 by 10 miles, which is Washington, D.C., and to exercise like authority over places purchased by the consent of legislation of the state in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, which is a magazines is like a place to store arms. They call them magazines, which would be like big bunkhouses and stuff like that. For the militia would have all their ammunition and powder and everything. Arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. So, per our Constitution, the federal government, with the authority of the state legislature, can own land for forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper to carry into the execution of foregoing powers and all other powers vested by the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. So basically, per our Constitution, the federal government can only own land for forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and needful buildings. Other than that, it can't own real land. It cannot own land that's productive. That land belongs to the state, and that land belongs to private owners. Now, if you look at the map of federally owned land, Nevada is about almost 90% federal land. So that means that all the taxes and all the fees and fines that are collected by the federal government on that land, none of it goes to the state of Nevada. Think about that. So this is a bigger issue. That's what Cliven Bundy is fighting against. He looked at our Constitution and said, why am I paying a federal government fines and fees that don't go back into the land that I'm using? It goes into the government bureaucracy, which is based out of Florida. That's the bigger problem. And now what they're finding is that the BLM had gone onto that land, killed off the cattle, and buried it. So this is going to get interesting this week as more and more allegations come out and more things. Because if the government is going onto this land, whether or not the guy paid for it or not, and is killing a private citizen's livelihood and dumping it into a hole, that's two ways you can think about that. And instead of saying, well, good, I'm glad the government's standing up to this rancher or whatever the hell, think about this. Think about all that beef and all that cattle that now cannot be used as food for people that are hungry. It's not going to make it to market to be processed into foodstuffs, to be taken to homeless shelters, or even just feed kids at school lunches. It's all gone. Think about that. This private rancher, who probably pays more taxes in a month for his business, outside of the fees that the BLM are trying to pile on him, probably pays more money in taxes a month than most middle-income Americans pay in a year. The BLM comes in and wants them to pay more on top of that for land usage, which none of the money that he pays to them goes back into the state. It all goes to the BLM, which is stationed out of Florida. And no one, see, that's what people can't wrap their heads around. They want to take one side or another. The liberals want to paint him as a gun nut, anti-government guy, and he's not. He says, I'll pay, but I'm going to pay the state, because the state's the one where I live in. The state's the one that should be getting the money, because the land is in Nevada. But somehow, somewhere, the legislature of Nevada has signed away all their rights and all their land to the federal government. And the only good thing that I can see that I've learned out of this is the state of Texas, less than 12% of the land in Texas is federally owned. Big Bend State Park, and I think they have the Natural Caverns State Park here close by. That's all federal land. The rest of it's all private land. The entire state of Texas is owned by individuals. There's no real state land. As a matter of fact, the state land only takes up about 20%. The rest of it all is owned by citizens in the state of Texas. And that's the way it should be. And I think if people are running for elected seats in Nevada, they need to get that land back. And not only Nevada, but Utah is the same way. Colorado, New Mexico, all those states out there, they're owned mostly by the federal government. California, the federal government owns most of those lands. That's not right. That's what you need to get excited about. That's what you need to get mad about. Don't get mad at Cliven Bundy. He's finally standing up and saying, wait a minute, this isn't right. I live in Nevada. My cows graze in Nevada. Why should I pay a government entity that's not even in Nevada money to use land that they own that they don't put any money back into? The money that the BLM gets is just to run the BLM. They go out and it's a bureaucracy. Anytime you put the government in charge of anything, they're going to screw it up. I think the government was in charge of my Winamp this morning. You got to keep it in the hands of the private citizen. Then you have to have faith that private citizen is going to do what it takes or do the right things with it. You know, this country is being owned. I mean, the Republican Party is basically bought and paid for. It's bought and paid for by big companies and corporations and banks that are just robbing us blind. And the Democrats and the Republicans are keeping us divided and against each other just so that they can get away with that crap. And if you think the Democrats' hands are clean, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's Wednesday's show is going to be 2 hours of nothing but this stuff. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into it. It's just a little preview. We're going to break down Cliven Bundy. I'm going to have a guest on who's a lawyer, actually. We're working on getting him on, and he's going to talk about the legal rights, the legal standpoint of all this, how this all plays out legally, and it's wild when you really pay attention, and that's what people don't do. Is they don't pay attention. You need to pay attention. We got an election year coming up. Don't think your voice can't be heard. Go vote. And here's the thing. Go to go to this webpage. Go to archives.gov, and in archives.gov you'll have a transcript of the Constitution of the United States. Read it. Read it. Get pissed off. Read it. Get pissed off, and then go vote. And don't vote for a person. Don't listen to propaganda. One of the red flags that I have anytime I talk to any sort of politician is my red flags go up if they lie to me and I know they're lying to me. Or if they're telling me what I want to hear, they're agreeing with me. It's like, yes, well, we need to. Well, when I get elected, I've got this 6-point plan where I'm going to fix. Well, no, you're not. You're going to go into a big group of people, and you're all going to have to debate, and you're all going to have to go through and compromise, and you're all going to have to do that stuff. So don't sit here and tell me that you're going to fix, that you've got this 6-point plan that's going to fix whatever it is you're going to fix, and if you get elected, that's what you're going to do, because everybody knows, because this is standard quo, everybody knows that when you get elected, and you go into your office, all that stuff goes out the window because you got the job. And then you'll do what it is that you need to do. Well, what's your plan to fix child obesity? Well, I've got a 4-point plan and to go into schools, and we got to do that. And they got to do that thing with their hand where they make a fist and they stick their thumb up. They punch the air. And I'm going to attack obesity head on, and we're going to get... No, you're not. No, you're not. You know what you do for child obesity? There's nothing you can do, because that's all up to the parents. And if your parents aren't turning off the TV and grabbing the Game Boy and grabbing the notepads out of these kids' hands and kicking them out the front door so they can go get dirty and sweaty and hot and tired at the end of the day, or getting them involved in football, baseball, basketball, wrestling... If you got a girl, you got volleyball, you got cheerleading, you got basketball, you got field hockey, you get them in something and keep them busy. Keep them busy all the way to the end. until they graduate and get out on their own. Keep them busy. Well, I see a lot of you are listening, but nobody knows how to work a Twitter. You could at least said hi. I would have enjoyed that. Don't forget about our shows. And according to that commercial, John and Jay is on Tuesday nights at 11. So I was wrong. So I apologize. I thought they were in the midday. But they're Tuesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means they come on after Van Eastema, who always has a great show. And, of course, she's been a little under the weather, and we wish her well. We hope she's back on her feet and ready to go. And but we've got shows, let's see, this afternoon, Tattoo Rick and Tara. We're going to talk about tattoos and other stuff in the tattoo lifestyle. They start at noon Central Standard Time right here on Armed Radio Global Network. And from there, tonight, Matt Hazley comes on, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and for Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. And then tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Van Eastema comes on, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, followed by the John and Jay Show. Now I got it right. They come on Monday night, or Tuesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be a fun night. John and Jay are pretty cool. They're both from the Boston area. So you'll be able to get on and get their kind of insights on things. It was a lot of fun. I listened to it last time, their inaugural show, and they did pretty good. So good luck with those guys. They're gonna have a good show. Now Wednesday night on the air with Mike Allen, I'm gonna have a guest on. I'm not gonna say who that is until I get that confirmed, but he'll be coming on the show to talk about the things that are happening in politics and what's going on around the world. Then Thursday night, Van Eastema comes back on 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Right after her at 10 Central, 11 Eastern. Night Talk with Joe Rocks with his sidekick, the Doog. And that's always a fun show. Those guys get after it, man. Then Friday night, everything gets closed out with Matt Hazley at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time with Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. Well, thanks for joining me this morning again. Stuff happens. So you just kind of got to roll with the punches. And we did, and we got here. But thank you very much for joining me this morning. Appreciate it. I had fun. I hope you had fun. We'll see you next Monday morning. I started prepping for this show yesterday at 10 p.m. I might have to start prepping like Saturday night. Make sure I get things right. Anywho. All right, folks. Thanks for joining me. This has been On the Air Monday Morning Brew. I'm Mike Allen. It's been a production of Studio 6 Entertainment, Armed Radio, and Mike Allen Sports. We'll see you Wednesday night.